Now let's shift to Chicago, where today's proceedings in the case of the Jason Van Dyke, the Chicago cop on trial for murder of Laquan McDonald, adjourned because of a sick juror. Now the question is whether or not Jason Van Dyke is going to take the stand to give his perspective on what took place. This case still is a huge issue in Chicago. The defense has tried to make the argument that Laquan McDonald was charging towards Jason Van Dyke. There's nothing that they've shown thus far, frankly, that even supports that. We'll do want to go to an interview now, of course, with the great uncle of Laquan McDonald. He, of course, has been following this case. He is a pastor there as well. And so Marvin Hunter, Reverend Marvin Hunter, welcome to Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Hello, Mr. Martin. How are you?
Doing great. First and foremost, how has the family been viewing the defense put forth by the attorneys for Jason Van Dyke?
Well, we feel that the defense has done everything humanly possible to try and paint our nephew, our great-nephew, Laquan McDonald, as an inanimate object, to try to bolster the fact in their case that Laquan McDonald was the aggressor in this. They had went so far as to get the judge to agree that the word victim could not be used during the trial. However, certainly we know that Laquan is the victim. All of the evidence has shown that he is the victim and that Jason Van Dyke was the aggressor in this matter.
And obviously it has to be disturbing to you to see so many Chicago police officers coming to the courtroom supporting Jason Van Dyke, even though we know he lied, other officers lied. Some of them have been fired, some have retired as a result of what took place. And of course, we still know about those officers who went to a nearby Burger King and erased video as well. It has to be bothersome to see Chicago police ignoring what those officers did.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And in fact, you're one of the few people that has brought that out. The prosecution did not use that evidence to bring about what we believe is going to be justice in this matter because they had so much other evidence. But certainly what you're saying is the fact that there were tapes that was erased, there was police officers that lied. Mr. Camden, who was the spokesperson for the Chicago Police Department, lied. Initially, he came out and said that my nephew was aggressing the officers and they shot him once in the chest, and we found out that day that he had been shot 16 times, in fact, and when the tape actually came out, we discovered that he had not aggressed any officers. He was not trying to attack anyone. He was simply walking away from the officer.
All right, then. Well, Reverend Hunter, we certainly appreciate you joining us. We will, just like the Botham Jean case, we will continue to keep our attention on the Laquan McDonald case as well, because it is certainly important for our national audience and international audience to be aware of this trial. Thank you so very much.
Well, Mr. Martin, thank you. And I want to say, if I may, that one of the things that we are trying to do is not allow the death of Laquan to just be marginalized into Jason Van Dyke going to jail, because all across this country, Laquan McDonald's are dying at the hands of unjust police. What this police officer did was became judge, jury, and executioner. So what we decided was to look closer at this, and we discovered here in Chicago that we have a consent decree. But not only do we have a consent decree that's trying to come out, but we also have a FOP contract. Jason Van Dyke is saying that he feels like he was doing his job. When we looked at the FOP contract and listened to the testimony of the officers that came to testify against him, what we discovered was that Jason Van Dyke felt like he was just in doing what he was doing based on what the FOP contract was saying. And when we go to court, every day the FOP is there standing with Jason Van Dyke saying that he is right. What we discovered is that they are violating our civil rights. in this FOP contract in Chicago. And so we're looking into this because we believe that our 14th Amendment rights are being violated with the FOP contract that is taking place here in Chicago. And as Emmett Till's death birthed Rosa Parks, and Rosa Parks birthed the Montgomery boycott and began to change Jim Crow laws across the country, we realized that that's what has to happen here with Laquan McDonald, because what they do is they align in their language. They're calling the FOP contract a contract. It is not a contract. It is, in fact, a law. And so we must change that law here in Illinois. And hopefully once we're successful at doing that, the FOP contracts across this country will begin to change. And those Jim Crow laws that are there will be moved, and then we can get to having real police officers and not Patty Roller.
All right, Reverend Hunter, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.